lot of people are concerned about the future. You know, many people say this crisis is over, happy days are here again and all this. Yet, how many people think that we're going back to normal, that things will be fine again? How many think that things could get much worse for many people? How many people think there could be a major disaster up ahead? Yeah. So the question here is this, you know, is how do you prepare for it and all this? So we'll leave it to the angel of death, Mike Maloney here. As far as, you know, because gold and silver are kind of indicative of the concerns in the marketplace, you know, the distrust of fiat money, you know, printed money. But that's why gold and silver is kind of the canary in the mine, but they're also the bellwether of emotions, right?
Absolutely. And, you know, I'm preparing by getting fully diversified. I buy both gold and silver. I also started a business. I sell gold and silver. And then I wrote the best-selling book on gold and silver, Rich Dad's Guide to Investing in Gold and Silver.
So when the economy crashes and as we predict, the crowds come rushing in to buy gold and silver, will you be happy or sad?
I will be celebrating. In every tragedy, there's an opportunity.
Right.
And now is the time to try and find what the opportunities are and seize them. Now is the time to figure out what is going on in the planet and look at why this decade is going to be completely unlike anything that we've ever experienced.
Oh, this history.
Yeah.
World history is changing. Right?
Yes, very rapidly.
But this has happened before in history, right? But never on a global scale. Yeah, small scale.
It's never been global.
It's never been global like this.
Yeah.
So this
is going to magnify it 1,000 times. So it's history repeating times 1,000.
Yeah. There's two possible extreme or financial concerns. We could either go into a depression, or we go to hyperinflation,
which is also a depression, hyperinflation.
Right, the same as
yeah.
But we could also go to war, which is one way to solve. People think we solve the problem. But also, what's happening is, you know, in Phoenix, Arizona, here they just announced that they're laying off policemen because the states don't have any more money. At the same time, they're cutting off unemployment benefits. Now, let's add 1 + 1 together. What does that spell? Right. Buy a gun. You know, I mean, you gotta remember this. Remember this. The police cannot prevent a crime. Only you can do that. They can only investigate it after you're dead. So that's one of the reasons I'm preparing. Is, you know, I'm still a Marine in my brain. I like guns, and the way I'm preparing for it is if I'm prepared for the worst, there's a good chance it won't happen. That's just really my philosophy, as sick as it may sound to some people. So come to my house, and I'm armed and dangerous, and I'll welcome you.
I don't see it, but it's not sick to prepare for the worst.
Yeah.
I mean, preparing for the worst, people think we're very negative, you know, and we're very pessimistic. Well, we're kind of pessimistic, saying we do think it's going to get worse, but we don't know for sure at this point. But by preparing for the worst, if it happens, we're prepared. If it doesn't happen, we're smarter.
Exactly. Right? What's the downside? I mean, for me, I don't have the guns, so I have to come to Robert for the guns. I have the food storage, you know, and I look at, from a food storage standpoint, I look at, well, you know, what happens if things don't go bad? Well, I still have the food storage. I'm still prepared, and I don't have to worry, can I feed my family in case, you know, business goes under or some other natural disaster and I can't go to the grocery store and get food.
I have both guns and food.
I'm going to your house. Yeah, the difference is that Robert enjoys the moment.
Andy, tell him the insurance thing.
Yeah, it's interesting. Tom mentioned he has food. I have a year's supply of food for my family, blankets, diapers, everything I need. I can live for a year. And some people will, you know, kind of poo-poo that and say, well, isn't that a big waste of food? And we rotate as best we can. But I'll tell you another thing is it's kind of like buying insurance. If you bought home insurance and your home didn't burn to the ground, would you be disappointed? Well, I'm not going to buy insurance because I'll never use it. Well, no, it's like insurance. We hope we never have to use it. I hope I don't have to use it. But you and I have talked about that a lot, Mike.
Yeah. I now have a stock of food also, and, you know, I don't like guns, but I now own a shotgun and a 9mm, and
I hope you practice how to use that.
Yes, I do. Nobody should own a gun without learning how to shoot.
Yes.
I think in today's market you have to take a defensive strategy and not know what's going to happen. You know, whoever the New Orleans Saints won the Super Bowl, and they won it by defense. And that's how you have to do it in today's market. You know, credit is tightening throughout the world. It's not just in the U.S. Now China's tightening. Credit card reform is not just in the U.S. And now it's happening in Europe. Then it's happening in South America. So those are things that we have to be prepared for. With the credit tightening around the world, that means it's going to take a long period of time for us to come out of the recession, and maybe we're in a depression.
Right. Kim and I personally we have food, we have water, we have guns.
We have gold and silver.
And cash, because we don't know which way it's going to go. The point here is this, you know, a few years ago, the whole credit card system nearly shut down. Mm-hmm. And when that shuts down, the credit card system shuts down, the world shuts down. You know, forget about oil, forget about gasoline, credit cards stop. You're going to see a run for the supermarkets, and the supermarkets have less than 3 days supply. If that whole thing stops, you know, I mean, I have a hard enough time checking out right now. Can you imagine if you got 9 million other guys trying to check out at the same time? So I just want to avoid the rush if in case it happens.
Well, and credit card lines of credit are shutting down because 2 years ago, there was $5 trillion of credit card lines available. Now it's been cut down to $2.3 trillion. As the banks continue to struggle, the banks continue to tighten the lending. Where do they go? They go in the big area of unsecured debt, and they're going to continue to tighten down the credit cards.
What do you say from the accountant side of it?
Oh wow! Well, here's something you can absolutely be sure of. Okay, you want to know what's going to happen in the future. If we're in a depression or if we have hyperinflation, either way, we're going to have increases in taxes. Because what happens if you go into a depression, what happens is that you have less and less economic growth, and that means that you have less and less money to pay the current taxes, and so they have to raise the tax rates to offset that. On the other hand, the way all countries are structured in their tax systems, if your income goes up, which it does in a hyperinflation standpoint, your actual income goes up high, you get into a higher tax bracket within your country. So either way, what I know for sure is that your tax rate is going up in a depression or in the inflation period.
Back to Robert's comment about the police officers. I mean, they're laying off police officers because they don't have enough money. Hence, they got to raise taxes to offset those
And they
incomes.
are raising taxes now. They've just put a new food tax at the grocery stores. You're now going to get taxed on food because they want to keep a few more police officers working.
But you
So
know what
that is
pays for
happening.
those, the police and fire is real estate tax.
Right, and real estate taxes will have to go up on homeowners.
Right.
So much for your house being an asset.
When the bank owns real estate, they don't pay the tax.
Is that right?
That's right. That's right.
That's right.